Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Door Shredder, coming back to you with a brand new episode of Project Architect 2. And real quick, before we start, I'm going to roll a couple clips of some progress that I made in an episode that I'm not going to really release because it just didn't feel like we made any progress. But we did get 9 pigs. I crafted them off camera, but I show you guys the actual materials and everything. And the fact that we put them in the system, so that's why we have 9,000,000.06 EMC up in the top left. And also, I quickly wanted to show you a little bit of progress we made towards getting a Apotheosis Spawner for Hoglins, and then we'll be right back. Alright, I've gotten everything for all 9 pigs. This is actually really cool, just laying it out this way. So this is all the items. Everything but the... So the cooked whole crab, the glazed berries are stackable, and everything else is not. Even the skillet and the pan, or pot here, are not stackable, which is kind of just interesting. So I'm actually going to have to clear out my inventory a little bit to actually be able to pick all this stuff up. But I just wanted to show you what this looks like. And yeah, it's just kind of interesting. I mean, that is a lot of materials and space to just do 9 of these. All right, 9 pigs, 9 million EMC. How do we get the mob egg, the mob spawner egg? Well, there's a couple ways we can do this, and I think I want to try the mob swab. The mob swab is from Mob Grinding Utils. It's not complicated to get in the slightest. So let's grab that, and let's grab this. And let's go run out to a crimson biome. Let's find a hoglin real quick. We'll just do this on camera. Clear out some of these guys so we have stuff spawning here. Alright, I have found a hoglin. So let's just right-click him. He's trying to brew me to death. Ooh, actually, that's a pretty good drop. Okay. So let's just go back home through our waystone here. Okay. So, with the mob swab obtained, what we should be able to do now is we should be able to combine this with a bucket of essence, which is going to be a problem. Actually, no. That shouldn't be a problem. And a piece of seed. So what we need to grab is an XP drain. Let's just look up XP drain. Okay, nothing too complicated. I think we have everything we need for this. Blaze powder, 2 of those. Ender pearl, 2 of those. Just get some eyes of ender. Let's actually teach our thing this real fast. May not be a bad option. And then hopper, singularity tank. So singularity tank. And then hopper and that. I don't think I have any hoppers right now, but I do have iron bars. Actually, I do have a hopper. Perfect. So this, and then we just go set this down. I'm just going to stand on it. Where are my empty buckets? There they are. Okay. Bucket of that. And then now we just need some sort of seed. There we go. Throw that in there, that in there, and that in there. GM chicken feed. And then now we just need to go to find a chicken, which I'm just going to go use one of the guys we have over here. Okay, so that is a hoglin spawn egg. I was just waiting for that to go away. Alrighty. So, I stopped the episode right after getting the hoglin spawn egg because I wasn't feeling like it was going anywhere. And real quick, before I forget to mention, yes, the house is bigger. This was something that I did off camera, and then I was like, hey, let's talk about it a little bit. And I didn't really do much other than that. Because I didn't show any building. We also did storage controllers, so let me really quick roll a clip about what we did and why we did it this way. Compacting drawer is what we're actually looking for, not the simple compacting. You could use either or. They're not bad options. But we do need some functional storage drawers, which looks like we just have chests. So let's snag some of these guys up, convert those. We need stone, we need pistons, and I actually can grab some pistons out of here. And stone. Okay. And then we need iron. Perfect. So, yeah, let's just craft up 4 of those. That'll work. So let's grab, for example, copper. And iron and gold and zinc. Sounds good. So copper. Okay, so this is going to act funny. And I don't like that fact. Hold on. Put this back in, pull out more, pull out the rest. So this is going to have to be done through nuggets, because I just want this tier. I don't want the other tier, which means we're actually going to be storing less overall in this compared to what we normally would. Dang it. Okay. I would assume we're going to have to do the exact same thing for all of these. Yes. Okay. Kind of crappy. Oh well. The next thing I probably want to look at is probably getting a simple compacting drawer. Oh, and also locking these. Not a bad idea. So that is more of these guys. Now let's grab a simple. I actually want to grab a handful of these, if possible. I need more stone. Because these guys should actually replace these guys. Break these guys real quick. So redstone, put that over here. Now you've got redstone blocks and redstone, which is beautiful. Because the good thing is you don't have to now make blocks in a crafting table, right? That's kind of the biggest thing that I wanted to cover here. Hey, quick interjection here. If you guys are enjoying the content, I would appreciate it if you could leave a like and or subscribe. And if you guys have any comments, advice, anything in the comment section is absolutely appreciated. And yeah, let's get back into the video. And that should get that done. Of course, now we just lock this. And that is perfect. So then we also want to throw zinc in here, which I think will do the exact same thing. Yes, it will. So let's make a zinc nugget. Throw that in here. Do that. And then right click. So I want to grab a storage controller here. This is not that complicated. We actually have the ability to go over here and grab a comparator. We don't have to waste too much time. We need blocks of quartz. Okay, blocks of quartz. And I'm actually going to put this, let's say, I guess we could set it right here for right now. That's okay. And then we're just going to grab our linking tool. So there's your single mode. So if you shift right click, it'll add multiple. And you can just do that. You can right click in the air to add or remove. And then of course shift is your single multiple. So that is beautiful. Now you'll see this green area. The green area can actually be changed if you have an empty hand and you shift right click on this to add more range. Now what that means is things like our farm right over there. If we put that into a functional storage drawer system or have enough range to add a drawer controller, we could actually put all of that in here. Okay, real quick, one more simple compacting drawer. I'm gonna do quartz real fast. And then we'll work on getting a void upgrade and everything. And I might actually move this over here. And when, of course, you break these, it unlinks them from the drawer system, so make sure you put them back. But this way you can easily convert between quartz and quartz blocks. Very simple, very cool. Okay, let's toss some of this stuff in here real fast. I don't think we really need that right now. So for a void upgrade, we need obsidian, and we need the actual drawer. Just like so, unless it's changed. Perfect, it is not. Snag a couple of those guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap one on the archwood log chest, and then also slap one on the saplings drawer down here. Not chest, drawer. Don't know why I said chest. That right there. And that will add it to the utility section on these drawers. And that'll void them after, so that way you're not worrying about overflow or anything. No fancy redstone needed. It'll just continuously run. That way, I'm not really worried about this running continuously, because at the end of the day, it's going to generate EMC, even if we're voiding logs. We'll have 130,000 logs in there for, however long we need them. And the other thing is, of course, we can actually do a couple other things with this. We can actually put this in a drawer system as well once we get our controller range high enough. Okay? Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to expand it further. I mean, we have the 9 million EMC, so we should actually be able to do that soon. But right now, I am working on just getting a Silk Touch book. But I was thinking, while doing this, is this even worth it? Because technically, Hoglin spawning is very specific to Crimson Nether biomes, and with the current way Apotheosis spawners are set, we will not be able to do this in the overworld until we get a dragon egg. Yeah. And I mean, yes, we'd have to go fight the Ender Dragon. So I'm thinking that this plan isn't going to work in the slightest. So that causes a problem. Okay. We do have the ability to do an entity spawner, which is fueled by the XP stuff. But I also don't know how well we're going to be able to get XP, right? Like, that's a thing I'm not sure. So we're kind of having some issues with the fact that we may not be able to really do this like I'm thinking. Like, until we get in much later, I'm not thinking this is going to work. Not really. So, I mean, because this is the problem, right? Is if we were to go about and we were to get this Apotheosis spawner, I mean, I don't have a problem setting it up in another dimension, because most of it's going to be automated. It's just the fact that we wouldn't be able to ignore conditions. We may be able to ignore we may be able to ignore player using a conduit, but I also don't have any Nautilus shells, which is a problem. I think, don't I have a Heart of the Sea somewhere in here? Yes. So I have a Heart of the Sea, but I don't have Nautilus shells. Which isn't really like the biggest problem. I could probably go find some buried treasures using the Explorer's Compass, because you can actually do that if you did not know. We could go and we could search for these, and we could hopefully find a Nautilus shell, which I'm going to actually just go and do that real quick. I don't know how far out this is because it doesn't tell us the actual distance, but if we can find one Nautilus shell, we can ignore players, and that's good, and we can set this up in the Nether. That's fine. I will do the Silk Touch enchantment off camera, because of course it's me just clicking repetitively through a villager trade, but the actual pickup of a spawner I want to do on camera. So let's go actually out here and explore. We'll just do this portion on camera, because we've kind of cut this episode up a little bit. Nope, not on this shore. Oh. Spoke too soon. Hold on. Alright, let me stop holding this for a second, so I can tell which mode I'm on. Dang it. Another Heart of the Sea. That's not what we need. Not in the slightest. And another Heart of the Sea with no Nautilus shells. Dang. Okay, so real quick, I stopped the buried treasure exploration for a minute, and I wanted to get a Silk Touch diamond pickaxe. I actually came back to deposit some stuff, and I thought while I'm back here, I'll get the Silk Touch going, because I still need to drop some other stuff off. I also did pick up a couple rabbits for the Rigme farm, which is fantastic. Not a bad thing. Yeah, I won't show that on camera, because that was like 3 minutes of me chasing the stupid rabbit to try and pick it up. It was kind of comedic, but also I didn't even think about recording it. So, there's that. But yeah, let me get the rest of my inventory cleaned up, and I will continue um, looking for the Nautilus shells. And I may pick up a couple drowned. If I do decide to do that, I will, of course, record that, because that does make a little bit of sense there. So, be right back. I have an opportunity here real quick. I was just actually going down, and I saw a drowned. I'm gonna pick him up. I don't know where in the world he came from, but he was just in this river. I was sailing down. So I stopped to pick him up. That's awesome. And I also found a Badlands, which I think is the first one we've seen. So that's actually really cool as well. So we've got red sand, we've got terracotta. What is this? Bituminous sand? I think this is useful. Let's pick some of this up. Yes, this actually can get us tar and bitumen, which tar, of course, if you did not know, is to decrease the spawn delay in this pack. So that's actually something that I will be picking up if I see more of it. So I've got some vultures around here. Yes, more. And well, actually, yes, I can. Okay. I didn't know why earlier it wouldn't show me that I could do that, but okay. I may have been looking at just specifically red sand, and it was able to excavate all of it. Okay. Well, I'm going to actually try and see if I can find another buried treasure here. That's why I'm out here. Not really any other reason. Looks like, yes, we finally did have this thing decide to go another direction, but I'm going to go quickly grab this sand, and then I'll go find where this buried treasure is, and I will be back here in a little bit. I'm in another village here. This is an integrated village, Kucha village, and there's actually some create stuff here that I'm looking at. Kind of trying to see what this all is. It looks like we've got like copycat panels. I'm just going to take these guys out here. Yeah, so we've got like a fluid pipe. I'm going to pop this off. I'm going to take some of this good stuff. I don't know. Metal bracket. Looks like we've got a mechanical press with a crank. We've got a basin with some lava in it. I actually do have an empty bucket, so let's just pop that lava out of there. And some metal grinder? Or metal girder, not metal grinder. And another basin. Cool. Looks like that was all the kind of create stuff. It looks like we got some copycat stuff here, but I'm not really too worried about copycat stuff. Yeah, I've never seen this kind of village. We did actually get an achievement for coming here. Now we got a statue. We've got a pot. I'm just going to take these guys, because these are actually EMC-able. May as well take what I can. It's a really nice, like, design for these villages. I'm not going to lie. What is that? Oh, millstones? Oh, I need those. Beautiful. Ash bricks. Is there anything in the actual... Is it just solid ash brick? Okay. It was 2 blocks wide. I couldn't tell. A bell. Take that for future use. A diorite pillar. Is that all of it? Okay. Anything else? Ooh. A loom table from Chipped. That is cool. We'll take that. That may be useful in the future. Oop, there's an orange looking like tabby cat. Is that what those are called? I may be wrong. I don't really know the breed of cats. Got another basin and a pulley magnet. Wait, does that mean you could actually pull this up? Hold on. Oh, can you not? That'd be... I think it's supposed to function, but maybe I broke it. Oh, no, there we go. We shift. Shift right click. Oh, that is really cool. You know what's not really cool is the fact they put trapdoors on this too. Okay. But yeah, that's like really nifty. A rope pulley and a hand crank. We're gonna take all this stuff. That is really nifty. I'm loving the integration with Create in these villages. We got a carpenter's table. We'll take that. This will give us more block variants, by the way. Kind of why I'm taking these blocks, not really any other reason. And I don't feel like crafting them half the time, so that'll save us some time. Alright, let me poke around a little bit more. I see pretty trees. I don't know what these pretty trees are, but we'll investigate. What is this pretty tree? A eucalyptus log. Kind of looks like acacia. Like a little bit, I think a little bit fuller in the color than acacia. Do I have any acacia logs? I don't. Huh. I also got elephant ears. Interesting. Okay. So we got some kind of palm tree down here as well. Palm log. So this is different than the other one that I have. What's that one look like? Very, very whitish yellow. Okay. Alright, I was kind of ignoring this compass, by the way. I've just been exploring this village for quite a while. There's also, of course, the bituminous sand variant that is normal sand, which is fantastic. I've been picking some of that up. But this village is massive, by the way. I have not explored it all. And I think I actually was in another... Yeah, I was in this village, and right next to it's another village. So this village is not as interesting, and I didn't really find too much else in the other village. But I was trying to see if I could find a... I was trying to see if I could find a waystone over here real quick. I don't think I saw one. Alright, we are hunting for nautilus shells held by drowned. This is one of the ways you can find these, and I'm hoping what I can do is I can pick these guys up with a net and then take them back to the base. And then hopefully that will allow for us to get nautilus shells indefinitely, but I'm not sure. Not sure at all. But I've been diving on a lot of locations, and this is just one of many. And I'm hopeful, so I'm hitting record. Like 33% chance of these guys picking up or having a nautilus shell upon spawning. And it doesn't look like any of those guys have it. That guy doesn't have it. I'll swim over here. Any of these guys. He's got a hook. The guy's got a trident. Let me try and take care of him. Because I've actually got one. I was just hoping to get two. And the funny thing is, the guy that I actually found with the nautilus shell is also a trident holder, which was not something I was looking for, but the possibility of holding a trident and a nautilus shell has to be, like, super rare. So I thought that was kind of cool. I'll show you guys him in a little bit. But yeah, I've been just hunting left and right at these places, trying to find one. And so far, really no luck. And it looks like all these guys, there's nothing. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go... I think I'm just gonna leave it at one then, because I've been exploring a lot of ocean for the past, like, hour. and nothing. So let's just break the boat. And I'm just gonna swim down and then slash home. Alright, containment jar and the drowned here. There we go. But you can see he's got a trident and a nautilus shell, which is just really cool. But I do have another drowned here. He is just a normal drowned. I picked him up thinking maybe nautilus shells would drop naturally from them. I was wrong. That was the wrong information. Hopefully this will drop the nautilus shell. I have no idea. Honestly, I'm hopeful. I have never tested this. But if that's not the case, then we will have to find another method, which I don't think there is another method for nautilus shells, unless we find a wandering trader. And do we have anything for the wandering trader sign? There is, like, the no solicitation, wards off certain pesky intruders. Is there, like, a doormat? Is that a thing in this pack? I don't think this is the doormat I'm thinking of, though. Okay. Let me see if this will run a couple times, and hopefully we'll either get a nautilus shell. He even may drop a trident, which I'm not really too caring for the tridents, because I don't really need them, but I'll let it run. Okay, so apparently that does not work. Which means that we either need to get a dispel or go find another drowned to get a nautilus shell from this guy, and then proceed to kill him and then EMC this, which I think is our best bet. So let's look at the scribe table. Let's see. Scribe table, archwood, and gold nuggets. Okay. So gold nuggets, and then archwood, and then archwood. I think it was slabs, right? Okay. Let's just set this right here for a second. And then we need abjuration essence for the dispel glyph of dispel. So this is milk and abjuration. Abjuration is fermented spider eye, sugar, and milk bucket. So fermented, I do not have one. So this plus this and a brown one, right? Or no, it's sugar and a brown one. Do I have any brown mushrooms? I do, and I do. There we go. Okay, let's also just quickly learn this. And then milk, sugar, and the eye. And then a source gem. Okay, so we're just going to head over to our old one, or the one we have current stuff on. And quickly make up the abjuration essence. There we go. And then now we need 3 milk buckets, which I should have back in the inventory. So 1, 2, 3. And then we just need a chest. And then now we just need a spell book. Which shouldn't be that hard to get. Can I do this? Can these be damaged? If not, that's fine. I just know I have these, and I can take probably something out of here. And then I think just a normal book. Perfect, it can be. And then, of course, this should hopefully be enough. So we're just going to press C. And how do I do this again? There we go. So we just right-click with this. And then we're just going to look for Dispel. Select. And all those items are going to come from the chest. You can tell I don't use the spell system in this game, in this mod, that very much at all. So then we're going to do projectile. Actually, let's do touch, dispel, create. And then all we should have to do is go out here. We're going to break this real quick, and then we're going to move him. Let's move him away. And then we're just going to right-click. Right-click. Okay, so this needs to be a projectile. And then create. Hello? Okay, I just need to be further away. Okay, so Nautilus Shell. And we have Dispel. So, for example, if we wanted to dispel this Wandering Trader, we could do that. And we can dispatch of him. Perfect. I don't think I killed him. Where is he? There he is. Okay, now he's dead. So we have 2 empty containment jars, which is fantastic. We also have a Nautilus shell. I was just hoping we could, of course, get infinite source from that, from the drowned, right? Get the infinite source of Nautilus shells from the drowned. That did not work. That is a-okay. So let's just grab 7 of these guys. And that means now we have 8. And then we just go grab the Heart of the Sea. And that is a conduit. A little bit more complicated, but I was hoping we could do something a little bit better. But this is EMC-able, so that does work. Okay. Now we actually need to go get a spawner, which I was kind of trying to worry more about the conduit, because I'm not really worried about spawners. We have plenty of cave spider spawners down in the mine shaft, which is right here. There's a zombie one, and I think there's a cave spider one somewhere. Or unless I didn't bookmark it. zombie spawner too? Maybe I'm just thinking of that. So let me go down there, and I'll meet you guys down there with a Silk Touch pickaxe. Alrighty, zombie spawner. We are using a Silk Touch pickaxe that we made earlier, and that is a zombie spawner. So we're gonna slash home real quick, not Homer, slash home. And with this, we will then be able to put the Hoglin spawn egg in here, and also, of course, a comparator to turn this on and off. So let's grab a comparator, the Hoglin egg. Let's go outside here, because I'm pretty sure that this won't spawn any Hoglins whatsoever in the overworld. So let's do that. Let's do that. And then let's grab... let's just grab a redstone torch here real quick, since I have the materials to make that. Okay, so this shouldn't spawn anything. Okay. I think that can prove it, right? But how's our delay? So the other thing is... Oh, actually, it is spawning them. Very, very slowly. I'm actually kind of surprised it spawned them. Come back here. It did make a zombified Hoglin, which I kind of forgot is a thing. I don't think there's a way for us to prevent that. Okay, hold on. So, I kind of want an adult to live... Let me grab a bow and arrow. So, we have a knife as well. If we were to spawn this in the overworld, would we be able to get the ham from a zombified Hoglin? That's our next little query here as well. So I've got a bow to take out the children. I never thought I'd say that in a sentence before. Goodness gracious. We just gotta wait for them to spawn, which is gonna take a minute. We'd have to get into thermal to speed this up, which is a problem. Okay. So let's just wait for them to become zombified. And I'm actually gonna go deactivate this real quick. Okay. So the zombified Hoglins, or Zoglins, I guess. Okay, they do not drop ham, and they do not drop Hoglin loin or anything of that sort. Okay, so this in the overworld will not work no matter what. Also, make sure that you're picking this up with a Silk Touch every time or you will break it. I'm actually going to set this real quick right here, and I'm going to grab our conduit, which is actually in this backpack here, and I'm also going to grab some wool. So wool will make it quiet. This will ignore players. And then, I mean, I don't know what else we really need. It looks like maybe some breeze rods, which we do have. And these guys are not EMC-able, so that's a problem. We just need to be careful with how many we're feeding this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many is that? I think 16 is max. Okay, so 5 is how many we put in there. That's not bad. What else do we want to put inside the spawner? As of right now, because I know we don't have the ability to do the Fallen Star, which is Blitz Powder, Cloud Block, and a Nether Star. That's not really that complicated for spawn count. Max entities and spawn count, by the way, the biggest difference, if you do not know, this is the total number of entities allowed in the spawn area, and this is the amount that can actually be spawned by the spawner at once. So I do like how they have the ability to you can hover over these and see what they do. No AI, of course, would be fantastic as well, but we don't have the ability for that unless we get into the end. I don't think so, at least. Don't we have the endographer or whatever? I thought, or something like from Better Villages. Yeah, the per altar. We have this, and that actually, what is the trades for that? Isn't it up here inside of this? Yeah, and there's nothing in here that would actually allow for us to do anything. Okay. Oh, and also apparently we could get a Nautilus shell from the Oceanographer. I completely forgot about even thinking about that one. Um. Okay. Well, at least we now know. Okay. So I guess for now, we've kind of got the spawner built out as much as possible. Because getting tar, right, we need a centrifugal separator for this. And then for the other one, we would need rosin, which rosin is what exactly? So resin to rosin, and that is the arboreal extractor. So that's placed up against a tree, I'm assuming. And that then extracts resin. Then that becomes the rosin once you put that inside of a fractional still. Okay. And then tree oil looks like something else. You can actually make that into fuel. I wonder how that actually equates. 5,000, so it's really, really low. Okay. It's worse than that. All right. That's interesting. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, I mean, that's not awful. We could definitely get that cruising in the future, but not right now. Spawn range of 4. So we just need to go into the nether, find a good spot for this, and get this cruising. Can waystones be EMC'd? Have I learned them? No, I have not. Okay, let's go grab one of these guys. I'm going to go build out a room real quick for this. I'm going to set this back down and name it home again. And I'm just going to go through our nether portal. I'm going to set up a room, and I'll be right back. Okay, really quick, really clean. Done with the actual spawn room. So this is a 5x5 internally. So 5 this direction, 5 that direction, and then 11, I do believe, or 10, I don't even know. It's 4 above and 4 below, so that is 4, 5, 9. So 9 internal, it looks like. So 10 by 10, or 10 tall, I think. I don't know, math. No, it'd be 11. It would be 11, because you've got the internal, right? 10 would be if we didn't have a block in the middle. Okay. Yeah, math is super hard. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to, of course, have movement inside of this. And there's a couple ways we could do this. We could do this with fans. We could do this with vector plates. I think vector plates are in here from what I remember. Vector plates from Dark Utilities. We could do this with increasing the range of the modular router. Tons and tons of different options. And I think we'll go with vector plates just because I think we can kind of do that and make it decent. So I also want to grab the Mega Torch as well to just surround that. It's not too complicated. Just quickly grab everything we need for this. I think that's everything. Oh, torches. So we'll grab this, and then the vector plates. So the one thing is with vector plates, they do require the deep slate, and I don't think I have a whole lot of deep. Oh, I do actually. Okay, I didn't think I did for some reason. And then we need slime balls, and then we need sugar, which we don't really have a whole lot of sugar cane, but we will grab more if need be. And there is also second tiers of these, which I think I may go with the base tier for now, and then hope that this works. So once we get this room set up, by the way, we won't really be using it that much because the fact that we are still going to need to get the repair system set up for the modular router. Okay, so I think I've got some of the ideas set up for the vector plates. I was actually messing with the construction wand a little bit, and that's why stuff is kind of everywhere. But what we're going to do is, of course, the 3x3 with the modular routing sitting up here in the front. And we're just going to be able to do that. And then we're going to do this, which should be pretty fast. Of course, you have to remember that this is going to have to be placed on the very, very lip of this. If you click down there, it'll spawn cobblestone. You can offhand this, but if you hit the cobblestone, the arrows go in the wrong direction. So we may show you that here in a second once I have a smaller area. Oh, actually, no, I don't want these like this. And of course, Ultimine is your friend here as well, because it won't destroy everything. It'll just destroy in a 3x3 if you're on that specific mode. So what I want to show you is if we offhand this and we do this, this is the wrong direction. It just defaults to whatever direction, and apparently it is the... which direction is that? That is east. Had to figure out where I was on the map here. So the east direction is where it defaults, so that isn't very useful unless you were just sending down a strip in the middle. That would save you a lot of time, but this also prevents you from placing them incorrectly or in a weird spot if you really were only doing them in that eastern direction. So now we have this set to where if these guys spawn, they will drop, they will then slowly move into this 3x3, and then of course the modular router will sit here once we're kind of completing this. But I think for now, this is going to do it for this episode. This is not complete. We'll continue it in the next one. There's a couple things we've got to figure out, and that's going to cycle out of using or doing anything with the spawner until we get through the cyclic solidification and melting chamber. So I'll be back in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.